So we're going to be using white oak for this step stool, and the total dimensions are going to be 12 by 10 by 7. First thing we got to do is we got to kind of rough cut everything here on the miter saw. And we're going to be using dado joints to connect everything so there won't be any nails or screws. As you can see on the graphic on the screen right there, dado joint is just basically a slot cut in the piece of wood, and you can basically cut this on a table saw or a router table. But since we don't have a table saw, we're going to be using a router table today. So basically we're just going to edge glue these panels using some tight bond glue, and we'll go ahead and talk about the second type of joint we're going to be using, which is going to be a stop dado. So this is going to be for the legs. So basically we're just going to have the stretcher that's going to go part of the way into the legs. So we're just going to finish up here getting everything cut to length with our final dimensions so we can go over to the router table. This is a trick I like to do. I like to mark the front and the sides after I cut both pieces at one time. Just prevents from if your saw is a little bit off, you're not going to be getting a wobbly step stool. So now we're just going to rip a little piece here just to it's going to be used for our stretcher, and then we're going to kind of get the router table set up for our dado joints on our top and our legs. So we're going to be using a 1/2 inch bit on the router table here, and we're going to make about 3 passes. So what you want to do is cut both sides, and then you're going to slide your fence over. So every time you slide your fence over, you just want to recheck with the thickness of your legs to make sure you're going to achieve a nice tight fit. So after getting our dados cut in our top here, we're just going to clamp all 3 pieces together, and we're just going to go ahead and cut that on the miter saw. And this ensures that everything's going to be the same width. And here we're just going to mark out the center portion of the legs, and this is going to give us our reference point for cutting our stop dados on the router table. So I'm just going to take this stretcher right here and just mark both sides of the board, and then we're going to mark our stop point on our router table with a pencil line. And as you can see, we're just going to push that board forward until we reach that pencil line, and then we're going to stop, shut the router off, and then we can make another pass. And same thing with this, we're just going to sneak up on that joint until we get the right thickness for our piece. After we get that nice tight fit, we're just going to go ahead and dry fit everything and make sure everything is exactly the way that we want it, so we don't have any hiccups while we're doing the glue up. And so we'll just go ahead and do like a quick sanding with 120 after we do the dry fit here, just to make sure everything's pretty good and smooth. Then we're going to use an ample amount of wood glue, and we're just using tight bond to glue everything together. This is just regular tight bond. It's not going to be exposed to any water or moisture. So after we get everything glued up here, we're just going to clamp everything into place, and we're going to let it dry for about 3 hours and make sure it's good and secure before we move on to the next step. Right here, I'm just going to use the bar clamp, and what I'm going to do is just kind of turn that screw until we get a perfectly square joint right there on the legs. So I'm just going to break everything with 220 here, and this should just give us a nice clean edge all around the step stool as we get ready for finishing. So we're going to be finishing this piece with just some rattle can lacquer, and we're going to end up doing 2 coats on this stool, and it'll give us a nice good looking finish in the end, and really brings out the wood grain in this white oak. If y'all know a better finish for white oak, guys, drop it down in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Also, if you have any tips for any kind of woodworking tips or tricks, let me know. If you found some value in the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like the video. And look forward to seeing y'all next time. Thanks for watching.